A lot of doubters today before this game, wasn't there? Looking at a lot of the press back in the UK, questioning whether this team had it, whether this team had blown it after midweek. And I said to you, I think the next 4 games were massive for his team. This one away at Leicester and 2 at home against, I think, Bournemouth and Everton. But what I saw today, not just the second half they were exceptional, but they played well first half as well. And arguably didn't deserve to go in 2-1 down, but my goodness, it was a performance when they came out second half and they just kept going. They just kept at it, kept asking a question. Yes, got a bit of luck, but sometimes when you work really hard and you put everything into a game, luck does go your way.
Zinchenko, mentality monster, Arteta's called him. He was at fault there, wasn't he?
He was at fault there early on in the match. We're not even 5 minutes in. But I just thought when he took it that little bit wide, Ollie Watkins, that the angle was against him with the defender, with the goalkeeper on that near post. It was going to take a pretty good strike, and I have to say, in fairness to Watkins, it was a good strike. Really good strike. Goalkeeper gets back, gets set, so he's thinking, okay, I'm okay, you're not going to beat me near post. But he did beat you far. We've talked about this, we know that Tyrone Mings doesn't need me or anyone else to tell him that he should have done something different than just...
Maybe he does, Andy.
Well, maybe he does, but I would hope he doesn't. I would hope he realises he made an error of judgment there.
Leave it for the keeper, you're saying, or put it into touch for a corner.
Put it out for a corner. But what you don't do, because it's a little awkward and you can't get the height and distance on it because you're going back to your own goal, and it's difficult then to turn that into power and clear your box. That was the wrong choice he made there.
That's a good finish from Saka.
Great strike. And this was a lovely goal, beautifully fashioned by Aston Villa. Lovely football, moved the ball really nicely. Alex Moreno just waits, then he gets his run. The little over from Wendia, and don't watch my eyes, defenders and goalkeepers going the other corner because they think that's where Coutinho's going to put it, but he just does them all.
But you just said, we said half-time, you sensed that. I always felt Arsenal were going to win it.
Yes, I know.
It wasn't over, was it?
No, it was far from over, Richard. And Nketiah's had a frustrating day again. That's the closest he came. Good leap, decent header, little unlucky. But here, what on earth are Aston Villa doing?
They're asleep.
Totally asleep. Totally asleep. You cannot leave a man that far. But what's disappointing for me is the lack of reaction when the corner was taken to somebody to get near Zinchenko. Nketiah again. Touch is a bit heavy, and he was always struggling then. Goalkeeper in his face, people going back on the line. Wasn't to beat.
I cannot believe, and probably he can't, sitting in the dressing room, that he's missed this, Odegaard.
No, I can't. I still can't believe it. For him, it's such lovely left foot. It's absolutely on a plate for him, and I don't know how he's missed it. Neither does he.
See, Bailey, if he'd hit rather than try to get round him, maybe he's more effective, but...
Yeah, watch this. This is brilliant skill.
This is
is a big save. Look at the time on the clock. We're just approaching the 83rd minute. That's a big save.
Yeah.
That's a big save, Richard, honestly. If that goes in, I think Villa go on and win it. So that just shows you the importance of that save. Saka again there. Lovely ball, Jorginho. I think he's grown into that in the last couple of games, Jorginho. Into the team. And then Duran, young American kid. No. That was never troubling the goalkeeper. Never troubling him. And then patience.
Here he comes.
What a hit. What a hit, son. Do you know what? I know it's in. And do you know what I'm disappointed about? It didn't go straight in. It doesn't deserve to be an own goal. You know, it's so patiently crafted. They never rushed, they never threatened to just throw it in there aimlessly. They worked the football left and right until he got a chance to take the shot.
But that's the bit of luck I think you're talking about.
That's the luck I'm talking about,
isn't it?
Yeah, that's the luck. And I know you don't think the goalie should be up. I don't mind. I think it's a league game. You lose 3-2, you lose 4-2. It doesn't make any difference in reality to Aston Villa. They took a chance. And Martinelli, who'd been left out, will feel a whole lot better now.
I just don't see the sense. I get it if it's a one-off cup tie, but...
No, I don't mind a league game. I mean, remember, Liverpool might not have won the league if they didn't send the goalie up against West Brom.
Yeah, but equally, if the keeper's back here and makes a stop, and you break and win 3-2, if buts and maybes. But there's no doubt about that once Arsenal score.
No, and I don't. I think, listen, if it's not in stoppage time, he doesn't go. I don't mind that. I've not got a problem with that.
Both players playing a huge part in what will be I think we'll look back at a quite significant win in this, what is turning out to be a hugely intriguing title race. Let's have a look at Arsenal's third goal. Jorginho had a big say on it, and so did Emi Martinez.
Yeah, he did, unfortunately for Emi. But like I say, again, look up, you're just thinking, you know what, I was thinking here, just, you know, get the ball in the box, get it in the box. You know, so when it comes here, you know, when it comes back, yeah, here we go. When it comes back, look at my face. When it comes here, I'm thinking, shoot. But like, and then, you know, it's just, you know, that's the luck we needed. That's the luck that we haven't had because, again, the chances that we created, we've missed so many great chances. He's got a lot of time and space. He's hit it very well, and look, he thinks he's missed it.
He's missed it.
You know, it's come off of Emi's head, and, you know, sometimes that may be the bit of luck you need to get you going again.
And it was great play in general from Arsenal, from their edge of their D all the way to keep the ball in possession that long and empty the spaces and create spaces. But I think there, again, Villa, the same as Zinchenko's goal, there's nobody picking up anybody around the box. And if you give quality players like Jorginho time and space around the box like that, they're the problems it will cause you.
Now, listen, you were both in the studio on Wednesday night, and when Manchester City scored a third goal, Ian, you didn't take too well to the reaction of this gentleman to your right-hand side. How the shoe was on the other foot just moments ago.
No, I thought he was over.
I said Arsenal would score.
I mean, we only saw half of it for a split second.
Yes! Yes, man!
The other side of the coin right there.
I can't believe that.
You know what, Manish, if I'm going to be totally honest, that doesn't make me happy looking at that. But the thing is, sometimes you just react in the moment, you know.
Hang on. Are you kissing the badge at one point now?
I was celebrating.
You're crying.
I was celebrating like the rest of the guys, and then the sound ladies looked at my mic there. So I had to... You know something? That's what it does, man. Just gets you off your seat. And we needed that. You heard.
Just tell everybody, what were you feeling like at 2-2?
I think if we drew that game, it would have felt like a loss again with the chances that we had in the game. So when you're listening to people like Zinchenko saying things like, we needed the 3 points, we did. You know, we'd obviously have to take that and then you go again. But that and the way they dug in and kept going, even when Villa made chances, they left spaces for Villa, taking a chance, trying to go and win the game. And so in the end, you do win the game and you feel like, yes, that's the kind of boost you need.
Well done for keeping your voice as well after that horrendous scream earlier.
Needed to answer the questions in the second half as well, Martin. They were 2-1 down. Let's have a look at how Alex Zinchenko equalised for them for the second time.
You saw those two players being interviewed at the end of the game, and they wanted to get back into that dressing room because they have a feeling for the club and they're champions. They know what it takes, and both their goals have got Arsenal now back into a really good position here. Zinchenko initially, he takes up these really clever positions. I mean, this is him on the edge of the box, and you're thinking, well, where's he going to go next? So he decides just to drift across into this position. Right
Shouldn't be allowed to do it though, Mark.
No, I mean,
how much space he's got.
Villa are looking at him, but nobody really deals with it, and he's thinking, okay, you know what? I'm just going to hit this near post, and it's a really sweet. Look at the Villa players. Look. They're pointing at him, but nobody's reacting. It really is poor. There should be somebody on the edge of the box, Joe.
I've never known that. You always have someone there.
You think as a shot comes in, watch who gets there first. Your number one header of the ball, Tyrone Mings, has had to leave his space and be the first one. I think that's a lack of organisation.
Definitely, but he exploits when he sees a hole, a gap. He runs into it, and that is a really important goal for his team.
And they really needed Aaron Ramsdale as well, didn't they, in that second half? He made a couple of really good saves, especially, Peter, that one from Leon Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one, wasn't it? I mean, it could go either way, that game. It was really, really end-to-end, but Leon Bailey, as you say, comes on and he was needed to pull out a save. But if you're going to be up there, you need your goalkeeper to perform, and he's been brilliant this season.
So important for them. He's had Particularly good performances away from home for them as well.
Massive character, Linz. He gets a hand on it. You don't see it quite clearly from that angle. It's a strong hand near post. Look, that's a match saving. That's as important as the Zinchenko goal or the Jorginho goal. I think he's so important for this team.
I think he's England's number one now.
I think he's.
I really do think he's now getting into that territory. His character. I mean, here he doesn't really panic. He just makes a save there across. You expect him to save that. But I just love the way he is as a team player. He's a real leader. He plays behind two really young central defenders. So in that triangle of three, there's no real experience, but they're growing in maturity every time you watch them. And that today is really important for them. Because as you said, Joe, about healing the team, I'd sooner if they win this game today 4-2 in the manner they did than win a comfortable 3-0. It tells me more about the group and the character, and the goalkeeper's got that in abundance.
And so much drama in stoppage time as well. Emi Martinez with an own goal to make it 3-2 for Arsenal, but all Jorginho, because I know the time wasting from Martinez was frustrating you.
I thought it was ironic. I seem to have spent a whole hour watching him wasting time. And then for it to come off his head, look, he was a great player for Arsenal, maybe he shouldn't have gone. But look what it means now to the next generation. Look, Jorginho coming in, scoring that goal. It's really ironic that, he should waste that amount of time and then eventually it comes off his head, but that can happen.
And then that goal from Gabriel Martinelli, Peter, was that just the icing on the cake for them, on the canter?
It was, Martinez has gone up again, and you have to credit Vieira here, coming on, and he didn't panic. I mean, he could have gone for goal there. I know plenty of people that would have done on their left foot, but he plays the pass perfectly through, and Martinelli, a little bit of showboating, celebrates before it goes in, and that was the icing on the cake. But if you come away from this game and you hadn't watched it in 4-2, you'd think Arsenal were comfortable, but they were far from comfortable. This was just the icing on the cake.
Did that decision to take him out of the starting lineup, do you think, pay off for Mikel Arteta today? Because it seemed a bit, the last sort of few games, he has been in need of a break.
And that's why you talk about squads. You talk about players. You need players. You need Trossard. That's a great acquisition. Trossard's come in and played his role today. Martinelli's sat back. He's come on. He's made a difference. Then all of a sudden you've got 4 players out attacking 3, with Jesus to come back 5, all on form, all scoring goals, all confident. They've just come back and had an incredible win away from home. It brings the group back together. Title race is back on.
And we all know how important that win was in Arsenal's season by Martin's reactions during that game. He's given me a bit of a headache today, haven't you?
Yes, just passion.
Take that. Take that. Come on, goal.
Oh.
Yes! Get in there!
Zinchenko. Come on, son! I don't think I've ever seen him so animated.
That's our ball. Come on, ref.
No!
Is this
seen that?
It's not possible. He's guessing. He's guessing.
I hope so.
Please!
Hit it! Oh, God.
You had 100 games with Villa, didn't you, Martin?
I have to apologise for the Villa fans. I had no idea the camera was on me, clearly.
It's the perfect goal off the keeper. Chris, it's come off the keeper.
That was Villa legend Martin Keown there.
Very sorry, guys. Very sorry. But
Martin, does that just sum up though how important that victory was today?
I can't tell you. I mean, it would have been so deflating if they'd have, dropped more points again today. So coming back from being behind, the performance, the way that gels, it's going to be a great coach journey, returning back to the training ground. And it reinforces that belief that they can take Man City to task. And City, we know, are quite brilliant. Of course, they're the favourites. But Arsenal now having a real say in who's going to win it.
Yeah.
Did they deserve it today, Arsenal?
Yes, they did, Linz. Like, we spoke to the manager there, Mikel, before the game, and he wanted a response. And so often, I've been critical of Arsenal over the last 10, 12 years, where I felt they've had big situations, big opportunities, and they've tripped over themselves, whether it be a question of character, things like that. But today, this team, every time you see them play, they're answering questions. All credit to this team.
Yeah, lots of questions being asked of the Arsenal players, and they have delivered for their manager today. Let's hear now from Mikel Arteta with Becky Ives.
Mikel, congratulations. Was that just a lesson from your team in never giving up?
Absolutely. We showed a lot of character, resilient to get back twice on the game and end up winning it. And we have to take some lessons from today, because especially in the first half, we didn't do all the simple things right. And then you give them the chance to score those 2 goals in a really simple way. But we talked at halftime. If we raise the individual standards and start to do everywhere what they have to do, we're going to win this game. And they went out, which is difficult, and win it.
Well, you spoke there. You went behind after 5 minutes, which clearly wasn't in the game plan. What didn't quite work in that 5 minutes?
Well, the way obviously we give the ball when we are completely open and leaving that left channel to Watkins 1 against 1. We knew that was a big concern. He's got this quality to do that, and they took. I think they had 2 shots and they scored 2 goals. So credit to them for that. But in the second half, I think we overplayed them. I think we create chance after chance. We dominated absolutely the game, and we needed a magic moment, and Jorginho produced it.
Well, it was an incredible goal. Have you ever seen a goal scored like that before?
Especially not from him. He's got many qualities, but probably that's not his biggest strength. But he was so much into the game, and the boys really wanted it, and especially what happened a few days ago. And we are so pleased to win the game.
Zinchenko as well, getting his first Premier League goal. Proud of him?
Yeah, it took him too long, so he's been practicing on that, and I'm so happy for him because obviously he had a difficult action in the first goal when he gave the ball away, but he reacted really well.
Do you sometimes find more values in wins like today, where you've had to come from behind twice, than what you do cruising 3-0 winners?
Well, you want to be at the top, you're going to have to win games in many different ways. You're going to have to score goals in the 94th and sometimes play with 10 men and come back results, and to do it, especially against this team in this stadium. A lot of credit to the boys.
And I can imagine the dressing room right now is bouncing. Is it fair to say?
It was absolutely bouncing because it was a big effort to play less than 72 hours ago after the game that we had and after the result that obviously morally is touching, but really pleased with the boys.
And now can you use this to just pick up where you left off, forget about the last couple of results and move forward?
It's picked up, look it again and train really well on Monday. That's what we have to do.
Lovely. Mikel, thank you.
The dressing room bouncing, he said. I'm sure the bus will be bouncing all the way back to London as well. Martin, did the performance not even really matter today? They just had to get the win.
Performance always matters, but I think this manager really doesn't quite get enough credit because he's made some really big calls since he's been in charge. Lots of players come and gone and today bringing the substitutes on, continuing to try and play his football with Zinchenko. We wondered whether he's going to change that slightly. Should he have gone wider to create a 2v1? But no, it was him that in those central positions. And he keeps finding the extra ingredients for his team because he's driving them on, and he's the driving force. He's got that belief, and that will only endorse that now in that journey home back to London.
Absolutely, and Aston Villa made them fight for it today as well, didn't they? They went ahead twice. Ollie Watkins scored within 5 minutes. We can hear from him with Becky.
Ollie, are you wondering how that ended up 4-2 at the end of that game?
Yeah, I think similar to the Leicester game, really. You know, we've had a good start, gone in front. They've scored. We've scored again. But yeah, I don't know what happened really. It's one of those games where you look back and you have to look back and go over it, but in the moment you don't really know what happened. A good team like Arsenal, you know, punished us at the end of the day, and yeah, I don't know what really went wrong.
Is it disappointing not to be able to see the game out?
Yeah, I think so. You know, 2-2 with 4 or 5 minutes to go. You know, we should see the game out and draw it at the end of the day. I think, yeah, I don't think they can score 2 goals. Obviously, Jorginho's goal was lucky, but you know they had a lot of the ball in the second half and they kept putting pressure on us. So yeah, it's disappointing at the end of the day.
You mentioned the word luck there. Leon Bailey had, I think it was saved by Ramsdale onto the bar at the end. On another day, if luck had been on your side, could that have gone in?
I think so. It's just fine margins, isn't it? Another day that goes in, and yeah, it's 3-2, and we see the game out, but it wasn't meant to be, and it's a shame that we've lost here again.
Yeah, they put up a good fight, but they've conceded 11 goals in the last 3 games. No wins in 3. It's going to be a big concern for Unai Emery, Joe. But how do you think he'll reflect on that overall performance?
Listen, they've pushed the team sitting at the top of the league all the way, right to the 94th. I thought they was combative in midfield. I think, you know, they just get punished by individual errors at the back. You know, we see the first goal, we thought Tyrone Mings could have done better with Saka.
Do you think it works with Buendia and Coutinho, both from in the same team? Can you make that work?
I certainly think you can. I don't think it's sustainable for them to be on the pitch for the whole 90 minutes. every game together, but they've both got a part to play for this Villa team, and he's shuffling his pack. He made all his substitutions today. The concern for me, I don't think he dealt with this side of the pitch, Saka and Ben White. If he would have done that earlier, I think he maybe would have gone with a back five, put Luca Digne on earlier. I think it maybe could have been different, but it's back to the drawing board for Emery.
Yeah, tough day for them. It's been a brilliant game, though, here at Villa Park. We're all off for a lie down. Martin, thank you for your very lively company today. Peter, Joe, thank you very much. Arsenal are back on the top of the pile. Can City respond against Forest today? That's one of 6 3 o'clock kickoff.